Hello YouTube, Shani here and welcome back to my channel. I am starting off a new series where I recreate my favorite scene or moment from my favorite show, which is probably gonna be all from anime, but I'm not denying the chances that it will come from movies or TV shows by the off chance I do watch them. I actually wanted to put in a little clip of the moment that this interaction actually happened in this video, but for the life of me I couldn't find it when I was like searching through the episode and I don't remember which episode it was from, so here I'm inserting a screenshot. It is not the best way to portray what I'm trying to recreate here because I'm more trying to recreate that interaction, that moment of like 2 or 3 seconds of animation where this interaction happened, not exactly copying this screenshot. But in this case, I sort of pretty much did. I pretty much just copied this screenshot. But for future episodes of this series, I'm gonna try to more capture the moment of what's happening and maybe tweak their body language and how they're looking a little bit so it's not a complete copy of a screenshot. I should probably first mention where this moment is from. It's from World Trigger, one of my favorite anime. If you have been following me on my social media, I mentioned it several times because it did take me about 2 weeks to complete this drawing, and I kept posting whip shot on my Instagram, even though I deleted all of them because it was really crowding my post. But that really just shows how long I've spent working on this. From the tracking time on my Procreate, it says I worked on this for about 30 hours, almost 30 hours, 29 and something minutes. And it was a long time. For some people, for other professional artists, I'm pretty sure it's not long for them. It's probably like an average time they spend on their paintings. But for me, it's a long time. I mean, like by the end of this, I'm so done with it. I just want to finish it. I can't even focus on adding details, perfecting lines, and just fixing up the painting a little bit more. I could do it if I have the patience to, but I was really like, I need to move on. I can't do this anymore. Why did I choose this particular scene to start off? I would say I just really like the interaction and the relationship between these two characters, Kogayuma and Midori Kawashun. They're like, when they first met in the anime, they're in a bad terms. They were fighting each other, they were having an argument. One of them tricked the other one and they were pissed off at each other and a jealousy happens. It's just a lot of negative emotion between these two, but then as the show progresses, as they fight each other and learn from each other, their relationship turned into one of those, I would describe it as my rival is my best friend kind of thing, where they help each other grow stronger but at the same time compete. I really like that kind of positive competition kind of relationship, and I really do hope that happens more in real life. I mean, it probably do, but I don't see it around me very often. These videos are hard. I mean, when I'm talking about my favorite anime and favorite show, I can't help but want to ramble on and on about what happened and what I like and what I didn't like and what my prediction is and what I hope happened and things like that, but I know that a lot of people watching this probably didn't watch it or finish it, or I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm trying to give in details and give you my opinions without spoiling important stuff. And I'm pretty sure this scene actually isn't that important. I sort of just really like the relationship between these two and that moment of, what do you call this, elbow bump, arm bump? It's not a fist bump. But this scene is by no means an important scene to the development of the plot, if that makes any sense. Let me give you a little bit of a summary of this anime, World Trigger. It's basically about a town located in a spot that's special because that spot has sort of like a space warp where people and creatures from the other world can come through, and it's like a border between two worlds, and there were these two worlds, Earth and what they call neighborhood, is not at good terms and they fight a lot, and there's abductions and wars and destructions. And the main organization of this anime, it's like it's called Border. People in there protect the citizens from attacks of outer world. The backstory of this is probably not special by any means, but I really like the system they have for the organization and the power and how they compete. It's not just like, oh, I can do whatever, and you don't have a level of measurement of how powerful and how good someone is, and you just don't yell and suddenly you are stronger than the other person. It's all about strategy and how the team works. Teamwork is a very important part of this show. I sort of grew tired of the one-on-one, nobody interfere, I will fight this person and you don't interfere because it's my pride, that kind of shonen fight anymore. I still enjoy it, but I need a fresh air sometimes, and this anime is a fresh breath of air. If you like kind of the strategic fighting system, you will really enjoy this anime. But I don't really recommend people watching the anime though, because it's a horrible adaptation of the manga. So if you're gonna read it, I think you should start off with the manga. The anime did this really weird thing where they made one of the main character who is already not the most likable person in the world, more unlikable. I will just put it that way. And if you watch it, you will understand what I mean. Anyways, back to the drawing. This is our channel. I need to shut up about my fangirling. I am trying a different painting style of this drawing. Normally, I would do a sketch, line over the sketch, make my line art perfect, and then I will move on to coloring. What's frustrating about this process is normally after I spend so much time on my lines and making it look how I wanted it to, I lack the patience of focusing on the colors. So my colors are normally sloppy and somewhat boring, and a lot of the colors are just dull, I think. And what also happened is that when I color in, I notice mistake of the line art that I haven't noticed before. Sometimes the proportion is off, and it's really hard to tell because your line art is hollow, like it doesn't have solid blocks of things. So when you have solid blocks of things after you colored it in, you will notice like maybe the head's too big, and maybe the hand's too big, or maybe the eyes are a little bit skewed or something like that. And by that time, if you want to change it, you have all these layers of different stuff, and how are you gonna change it? Like, you just turn off the color, fix the line art first, turn back the color, erase the part that's not in line anymore, and recolor it. It's just annoying. So this time I tried to paint directly over my refined sketch. I basically is working on two layers. One layer is what I already have, and if I want to make any changes to what I already have, I will make it on the new layer, and if I like the change, I will merge the layer and create a new layer and continue painting that way. The process is similar to that of a traditional painting. This way I can put more of my energy onto the colors and the shading. Because it's the first time I'm trying to do it this way, I mean, not the first time, I did it with my Jaden fan art too, but that one is a lot less complicated than this. Not just because there's one more character, I think it's also because I changed the way I draw hair and I changed the way I color in clothes, and it's a little bit more complicated now. So it did take a long time for me to work through problems and things that just didn't work out. I thoroughly enjoy this new way of drawing, but there's pros and cons, I guess. Pro, as I said, I spend more time thinking about the colors and the shading, and the con is that I don't have layers to tweak. Everything have to be changed on the layer. Like, there isn't layer I can just turn off and turn on, you know. People who work with layer know how convenient it can get. But the biggest pro of this style of drawing, I would say, is that you can lasso tool a whole head and move it bigger or smaller. You can transform parts of the drawing without having multiple layers. Like, everything is on one layer, it's easier in some ways. Throughout the speed paint, you will see me sometimes scaling up the arm, moving the eyes, moving the nose, moving the head. And doing it all on 1 layer or 2 layer is just easier. Am I gonna continue painting this way? I'm actually not sure. I think I might still do the liner approach, and sometimes I would do the painting approach depending on how I feel. Right now, my main goal currently, one of my New Year resolutions is to be able to draw faster. Currently, I don't have a routine of the way I paint yet. I'm still at the trial and error stage of trying to figure out what I want my process to be and what works for me. So all my digital art recently has been extremely slow. All of them take so long that I don't know. I feel like I spent so long on even a portrait, a butt shot. I guess all I have to do is be practicing and get more familiar of my workflow. Or first I should have a workflow. Currently I don't. That's the problem. Oh yeah, right. Initially, when I was planning out how I want to recreate this scene, I wanted the angle to be a little bit low. Like the camera angle is set on the floor, not that low, but you know, it's low, and looking at these two characters from bottom up and giving that sort of an epic feel. And I wanted the background to be looking like they're in the middle of a battlefield with smokes and really dark sky and like purples and yellows, and you know, these things always look so complicated in my head, but my skill level is not up to par yet, so there's no way I can do that. As you can see, my final product is a lot more lame, I guess. First off, I couldn't paint the background I have in my head. The thing with background is when I separate it out and try to do it on its own, it looks okay. It doesn't look very good, but it's decent. But when I try to combine the way I paint background to the way I draw characters, it just doesn't fit. One of them looks like a cardboard cutout and just paste it on the other one. So it's not coherent. I think the major problem is the fact that I like to draw my characters first and add the background later, so the character doesn't fit in with the mood and the lighting. I should probably work on them at the same time, or better yet, I would probably try to draw the background first. But another thing is I like to draw my background in a very painterly way, like with all the brush strokes and stuff. But my characters, they're very solid. Like my shading is very solid, as my friend described it as being solid. So the two style doesn't fit. It looks like two different people painted it. That's the thing. So currently all I can do are putting very solid backgrounds, like without a lot of soft shading and just very flat looking. For a lack of better word, it looks very flat. And as you can see, I did not do the epic angle thing because I have no idea how a person will look with its chin facing the camera. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it just ended up being a copy of the screenshot, like the pose wise. I did paint it in my own style and the face looks different and everything, but the pose is the exact same as the screenshot. So next time I would like to challenge myself to not just copy the screenshot, but create the same exact interaction and scene and mood, but with slightly different poses. I kind of already know what I want to do next, but again, the image looks very, very epic and complicated in my head, and I have no way of knowing if I can do it or not, but I wouldn't know if I try, right? So I will update you guys next episode on how that turned out. Anyways, overall I still really like this drawing. I mean, it's the best digital piece I have so far compared to my previous one, so I hope the next one will be better than this one. And I really hope that I can see my improvement and keep on improving. So thank you so much for watching such a long video and listen to me ramble. I really hope you enjoyed my voiceover, because I stopped doing voiceover for speed paints for a while now, and I don't know if you enjoy it just with music or with people talking in the background. So comment below and tell me which one you prefer. Also, I'm really sorry for all those missing footage. You would see it's the Kuga's hair is missing a huge chunk of footage where I cleaned up the lines and did refined shading. That's because, guys, I have 20 hours of footage and I need to fit this in this video without making it 40-minute long. So I'm at the limit of how fast I can speed it up. If I speed it up anymore, it will create a lot of headache for a lot of people. I'm pretty sure this is already creating some nausea for some people, and I apologize for that. So all I can do is cut out some repetitive parts. And since I have so much footage of how I color Midorikawa's hair, so I think I can cut out some Kuga's hair. Just balancing all those areas and things I think is important. We're coming to the end of this video. I will have the full image of this on my DeviantArt if you want to check it out, and I also have a Redbubble shop with some stuff in there if you're interested. Also check out my Instagram for more work in progress shots and my other traditional drawings and things like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.